Bear with me. This is how earth changes affects us. So here we are gathered another Sunday at HeartLight. Not merely to just share space, but to harmonize ourselves with deeper rhythms of our earth and rising symphony of the very cosmos itself. The topic that I've chosen this morning is both timely and as well as timeless. How earth changes affect us, the people. But as always, I'm not here to just give you facts. I'm here to invite you to a radical re-seeing of your world. I really like this word radical. At one time I didn't, because I was called radical, and I thought that was really a bad thing to be a radical person. Until I studied the word. And I've shared this with you, but I studied the word radical because I like to know where words come into the language from, other languages. And we get the word radical from a Latin word, radix, R-A-D-I-X. You say, well, that's Greek to me. I'm sure it is. But we get a word out of that word radix called a radish in the garden because it means root.
All right.
To be radical is a person who wants to get to the root of things, who wants to find cause rather than just effect. To see what's going on in the energetic patterns that ends up as diagnosis from the medical field. We are the people of cause. Now God is first cause, capital C, but we are cause, little c. So it's not that something is just causing things to happen. We're also causing things to happen by the power of consciousness and how that we're using our consciousness. There is no denial that something big is happening on this planet and to this planet. Something so found that even our instruments, I want you to get this, crafted by human hands with best intentions, are struggling to keep up with it. This is why you're having blackouts. You that are experiencing it on your computer, this is not working the way it was, and you're having to work with it harder, and then all of a sudden things show up and things disappear, and then your TV's going out and all that kind of stuff. It's because the new energy coming in, we don't have third dimensional instruments to measure it. So when you see the absence of something is the presence of something.
All right now.
Are you with me? Yes. When things go quiet,
That's good. All right now.
then something of 3D is bowing down to 5D.
All right. All right.
Everything shall bow its knee and confess
Yes.
the Christ consciousness in the earth today. So I want you to be aware of that I don't think things are so wrong. I think things are trying to tell us something that where we have lived in this 3D world doesn't work anymore. Something is happening beyond the boundaries that have been set for us and by us in this world today. I have been fascinated with something many, many years called the Schumann resonance.
Yes.
And some of you may have heard of it.
Yes.
The Schumann resonance is named by a gentleman, Schumann, who found what's considered to be the electromagnetic pulse of the earth, or the earth's heartbeat, it is called. That's why I think sometimes when we do things such as drumming, or today you really came together with the rhythm. Some of you sometimes are doing this, and we're trying to find it, but today you got it. You synchronized into one nice clapping rhythm, and that is so powerful when we can attain that place in which we can align ourselves with rhythm and with beat. Dancing. I mean, there's so many things right now that would be very important to helping us along in this retuning that is going on with us right now. We are, I believe, evolutionary, physically, materially, the children of Mother Earth. My body is the child of Mater. Mother, Mater, material. So the material world is, and I'm talking now not about the artificial material world. There's two aspects of the material world to me, and there's that which is called nature. That's different than what we have made.
That's right.
Computers, technology, all that kind of thing. This is our doings. We have made that. But we did not make the ability of these beautiful plants and bushes and trees to bloom right now. It is an intelligence that is within nature. So that's different. I want to make that clear to you. Nature is different than the material world that has been made. So it's the material world of 3D that is not being able to keep up with the rate and the intensity of which things are so fastly changing and tuning itself to. The human resonance has been for so many years at 7.83 hertz. Approximately 8 hertz for years it's been that, and still remains that as a base frequency. But what we have noticed is there is great fluctuations going on in the human resonance. So it's like Mother Earth is changing her heartbeat from what was actually on the very verge of between theta and alpha, because as we're evolving consciously, we're also changing our magnetic, not just the Earth's magnetic, but our magnetic fields are also changing, and we are retuning ourselves and fluctuating. How many of his life is fluctuating? Sometimes it's a high day, sometimes it's not such a high day. Sometimes it's in between somewhere. It's because of the fluctuations that are going on in your life during this time of retuning the orchestra body. And as that happens, you're going to have a lot of different moods, a lot of different ideas and feelings and emotions that are going to be a part of this process that is so important. What's interesting is for us to reach fully awakened state, which using the brainwave map would be beta. Beta is the most alert you want to be. If you're going to work on something and use a machine, you want to be in beta. Beta is alert and awake. You don't want to be in theta or some meditative sleeping state when you're trying to use some kind of a machine. You want to be in beta state. So all of these brain waves all have a place, and you go through them every day. Several times a day you go in and out of, when you went to bed, you start out relaxing in theta and you hope to get to delta. That's sleep. Then you wake up and you come kind of back to theta in the first part of the thing, and then you're trying to move it on up to you can get up and make it to the coffee maker at least. On your way to trying to get out of those lower brain waves into higher brain waves to begin to function throughout the day. But even through the day, there's fluctuations in the day. You may have a wonderful morning and feel energetic, and by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you feel like you almost have to go lay down somewhere. And I want to say to you, that's fine. Don't you let the ego tell you you're lazy. Listen to your body right now because of the intensity of what is coming in. When your body says, I've had enough, it is all right for you to go into a state of meditation or lay down and take a nap. Listen, there's a rhythm to this that is very important. So don't drive yourself beyond how things are feeling to you vibrationally, and follow it. Dance with it. So the 7.83 is shooting up now in fluctuations to 13 hertz, and that's beta. So the whole system, the whole magnetic system is changing and redoing itself. But we, those who attune to higher knowing, that is we in this room and those that are joining us, I'm sure, understand what's really happening. Gaia is ascending. And this says that it is not a poetic metaphor. It is a literal transformation of Earth's electromagnetic template as she absorbs what is called light codes. Light codes. What are light codes? Packets of divine frequency information flowing from the higher dimensions, cascading up on our planet field. There's a place in the Bible that comes to me that says in the last of days that things will change so drastically that the earth will be like a drunk man. Now, there's a reason I'm saying that, because I have a feeling that some of you, and myself included, is at times having some balance issues. When I'm just walking, I just find myself veering off a little bit somewhere. And of course, we want to immediately go to, am I getting Alzheimer's? Am I getting old? Whatever. That's the old program that's going to go on in us. But maybe as spiritual people, we can look at this completely different and say that the whole balance of the planet is changing. Now, if it's true that we are the children of Mother Earth physically and biologically, then we have to realize that whatever Mother Earth goes through, so the children go through. Right? So that would mean, for instance, as planets are changing and all of that's going on, and we know that those who deal in astrology can tell us all kinds of things. I mean, there's all kinds of new information out in astrology that I've never heard before that's coming through because of what's happening with the stars in our galaxy. Now, how many of you do know your star seed? That's a different part of the material aspect of those who have come from the star seed, such as Pleiades, Orion, and some other star seeds that have shown up here. And this is really science. It's not New Age. Science has told us that about 78% of what makes up the cells in our body is same as stardust.
Yes.
So we are star seed. Maybe that's what it's meant when it says, and God created out of the dust of the earth. Maybe the dust was stardust. And that's the higher part of your humanity. When you talk about your better angels, your better self, that part of you that is the good part, which isn't always 24 hours a day, but there's some times in which we live in a higher aspect of our humanity. We're more loving, more giving, more understanding, more compassionate. And other days we're maybe not there because it's fluctuating. I can't stress that enough. The fluctuation that is going on is so important in this retuning of the earth. So there is actually a full-on quantum recalibration that is going on. And as we used to say in the church, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. It's too high, you can't get over it. It's too low, you can't get around it. And it's too wide, you can't get around it. That's what we used to say, and it's true. There is nowhere to hide right now. We are here because all that we have done has brought us here. All the workshops, all of the different teachings that we have done in the last decades, a lot of us in this room, has all prepared you for this time. This is called an appointed time. Appointed time. It's also called in the Bible the fullness of time. And when the fullness of time shall come, He shall refresh our spirit and our soul. And I want you to know that no matter what you're going on in your life, personally, individually, or collectively, there is a place in us for refreshing. Yes. Refreshing. And we might need that in this particular time. Our nervous systems are not separate from the human field. So the first thing that's going to hit us biologically and psychologically are going to be the nervous system. And when the nervous system is affected, as we heard today about the vagus nerve, how important that nerve is throughout your body, that's going to affect some things that we're going to talk about in just a little bit. The same light codes reprogramming Gaia are touching us, and I love this, whispering unto our DNA. Whispering in our very DNA. Inviting us to awaken from the dream of separation. I love that. I love this term whisper because when you feel of the almost the violence that religion has used on us to change us, to get us saved, to get us where they wanted us to be, to think the Holy Spirit just whispers, I thought you just might want to know. Doesn't that feel good?
Yes.
It's not, you better know that you're going to hell. It's just a nice whisper. Just a nice whisper. I thought you just might want to know. And if you do, just give me a little willingness. And I will whisper and wrap myself around the limbic part of your brain, around the limbs of your brain. And you shall eat of the tree of life within yourself. People have asked me a lot lately, why am I so exhausted all the time? Why do I feel like my emotions are on a roller coaster? Trust me, don't you think it's just you? These are symptoms of a resonance shift. So let's add another level to this. The Earth's magnetic North Pole is moving fast. What used to be adrift a few kilometers per year is now racing towards Siberia at the speed of 72 kilometers annually. This isn't just a geographical trivia. It changes how birds migrate, how whales migrate, and yes, how your inner compass feels stability. Today, this is to make you understand what's going on. Knowledge is power. And if you don't understand the spiritual side and aspect of what's going on, then you'll fall under the fear of the ego system, that something's wrong with me. I think we had a picture. Have you shown the picture? I don't know. The magnetic field isn't just protection from solar radiation. Now get this. It's the organizing field for life's coherence. I like that. It's the organizing field for life's coherence. When that field shifts, we will feel like our sleep patterns, our sense of time and clarity of thought, and even concerning our emotional regulations will be challenged. I'm not saying this today because there's a cause of fear. There's a cause for awareness.
Yes.
Awareness is the beginning of enlightenment. Until you have an awareness, you will not move into enlightenment whatsoever. So are we standing at a spiritual pivot point? I think so. The breakdown of old measuring tools is a failure of science today. It's an initiation into a new science. I love that. Did you realize, this is kind of fascinating, I think, but the word physics, interesting word, really came from many, many years ago through the word physis. Physis. And it was become the fifth element of earth, fire, water, air. And then there was only 4. But Aristotle came along and says, wait a minute, I think there's a 5th. Ether. Ether, it was the 5th. Or spirit. That was their word for spirit, was ether. Space. Space was the 5th thing. And that was called the quintessence of elements whatsoever. And from that word that was used for spirit, we got the word for physical. Physis became physics. So originally they were one and the same thing. And that has not come together until the last few decades, in which quantum physics tells us that everything is energy. That there is no separation in the content of what life is. There's a difference in form, but not in content. You can't destroy the energy, but you can change the form of the energy. Just as you can change and turn down the temperature of steam and get water. Water's a much more heavier form than steam. Steam's kind of, mystical stuff. I can't get a hold of it. Water is a heavier form, but it needs a container. Mm-hmm. And then when you really get it down to 32 degrees and the molecules have no space between them, they come together into ice or form. See? But they're all made of the same things, a 6-sided water molecule. The only thing that's happened is the temperature has changed. And the temperature is changing. The environment is changing. The atmosphere is changing. So this is actually a good thing that you are kind of going through what you're going through is what I'm telling you. Remember I've told you when they came to Yeshua the teacher and said, how's the world going to end? Now he wasn't talking about our world. He talked about their world was ending at that time, which was the world of law. Yes. They were going through an end of the world, or an age. The world is age. It wasn't our end of the world, it's their end of the world. But it seemed like the same patterns happen every time there's an end of an age, then things become unstable. All the way to the molecular level, things become totally unstable and go into crises and to chaos. No way to get around it. You mothers out there, how about wouldn't you have liked to have gone past the birth pains and get right on with the birth? But birth pains came before the birth. And our rebirth is a crisis right now. We've been in the womb or matrix of 3D long enough. We've outgrown it as the fetus has outgrown the womb space. And something takes over and says, it's time to get out of here. This is not my destiny. This is not my destiny. I'm just coming through. We know that we're in breakdown because of what? Breakthrough. That's right. And we are here to work with what is breaking through. So what do we do about this? First, we stop pretending that all of this is just weather or just coincidence. We remember that the planet's transformation is our transformation. We begin tuning inwardly as much as we look outwardly. The earth is no longer a passive backdrop to our lives. I love this. She is conscious of being and evolving alongside of us. We must learn that it's all right to feel these changes. Do not suppress them. Do not sweep them under the rug of your human mind and say it'll all go away if I just put it under the rug. No, somebody's going to have to deal with what we've been putting under the rug for way too long. And Spirit is here today to remind you that this is your time that you have come for. And I don't care what your age is. I could care less. I cannot believe that all the isms we're dealing with now, we've got to deal with ageism. It's a real thing. It is a part of being, it's not good. It's not a good thing to be doing that, because people always ask me about my age a lot. And I say, are you new age, they'll ask me. I say, no, I'm no age. I'm a spirit being. I have no beginning and no end, no birth and no death. I am a no-ager. So let's stop pretending and get real and authentic and step up and take our place as light workers and co-creators to assist what is creating to come forward and to manifest itself. Remember, the planet's transformation is our transformation. The earth is no longer a passive, I want to say that again, it's not passive. It's active, it's alive. And we've known that for a long, long time, that we found out that the earth is not inanimate, but it's a living organism. I remember Barbara Marx Hubbard telling us that if you could find pictures, but there are now, pictures of looking at all of the lights on the inhabitant of the planet, all of the wires, all of the connections that goes under the ocean to connect us up, looks exactly like a baby's nervous system. As the earth is ready to and poised to rebirth herself into a less dense 3D earth, into a new earth that is more etheric. It'll be the same earth. People say to me, well, I get to 5D. Well, I know, absolutely. Because things will be pretty much the same, but not dense.
That's right.
And without a lot of things that has held us into the density of 3D will be gone, and we'll live lighter lives. We'll live more aligned lives in many ways. We must learn to feel these changes not just through data, but through intuition. Never been a time more to work with your intuition, to sharpen it and keep it alive. Because right now, it is important you be in the right place at the right time.
That's true.
And that you draw the right people into your life that is supposed to be in your life.
That's right.
To the point that I think it's time for us to stand up for ourselves and make sure. And see, this is going to challenge the old teaching that everybody's this and everybody's that. I don't want to get into it, but it's not true. We're all one, but we all have different frequencies in our stories, and sometimes the frequencies of one story does not match the frequencies of another story.
Hey.
Doesn't mean that people have to be just like us, but it means they got to fit.
That's right.
When we play a C chord here, everybody don't have to be a C to be a C chord. You can be an E.
Yes, sir.
You can be a G.
That's
Huh?
right.
Let's keep your individuality, but stay within the resonance of a chord. Be in accord with life and be in accord with the people that's in your life. And take responsibility for your garden. And we was given this garden to till and to take care of and to dress. And sometimes we haven't done the best job as caretakers for our 3D bodies. Quickly, some common symptoms of earth resonance shifts are extreme fatigue and sudden energy surges. I have that. I know what that means. Especially if I'm out of line with my environment.
Okay.
If I'm with the wrong people of a different frequency that is not a frequency. It doesn't mean theirs is good and mine's bad. It just means it's just not complementary with each other.
All right.
So that's don't judge it good or bad. It's just an alignment that is going on. So, dizziness, feeling ungrounded. I have felt that at times. I know what it is to have a little bit of dizziness come through and feel a little bit ungrounded. Head pressure, ringing in the ears, a lot of that going on. And a lot of people are not finding any diagnosis from a doctor about it in not all cases, but in some cases. You know, again, I say to you, there's nothing wrong. If you have symptoms of something, check it out. You know, I hope we all can find good doctors. And there are some better doctors out there than others who are shifting too. There is. There's the medical doctors that have become functional doctors. There's chiropractors that become functional doctors. There's a whole group of people that are becoming more into the cause and the root of finding out what is wrong with you. And we do have them here in Charlotte, if you can find one. But if you have a doctor or need a doctor, go to one that will listen to you. Go to someone that will ask you, what's been going on the last 6 months of your life? Yeah. And so go get checked out, because if it is coming from something that is happening physically or at that level, then I'm not find what you got to do, you know, with it. But at the same time, don't buy into the diagnosis without you yourself doing the research to see if you can find the cause. That's our responsibility that we have grown into. So emotionally, sudden waves of sadness or grief. Absolutely, there's a part of me grieving. And it's my old self that I'm familiar with. And maybe not all of it is pleasant memories, but at least I'm familiar with it. And you got to watch that. You got to watch this ability to adapt. You can over-adapt to something and get stuck in the adaptation. But realize everything is moving us to grow and to mature. An intense longing for homesickness. This world is not my home. I'm just a passing through. That's my song. It's the first song I ever sang 63 years ago. On the piano. This world is not my home. I'm just passing through. The angels beckon me to heaven's open door, and I won't feel at home in this world anymore. I don't know about you, but I don't feel so home. I love my family, but sometimes I don't feel so home there either. It doesn't matter. Those things don't matter to me as much. I'm talking about for me. And I hope you hear what I'm saying. It's just that things feel differently.
Yes.
Things are not based upon the groundings of 3D attachments that we have had to survive 3D. We don't have to have anymore. At one time, you had to be in a tribe. You had to have your tribe. And it was the tribe that allowed things to survive. And now, I bet most of us here have kids strung all over the country. You know, it's very seldom that we all grow up in the same spot, in the same place. People are everywhere because that has changed somewhat. And therefore, we don't have that same, as when I was growing up, you know. It was a different time completely. We didn't have distractions like computers and even television, actually. But people got together, we sang gospel music, we had food, we had fellowship, and all those kind of things that have kind of gone for a lot of us, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us have lost that ability, what we grew up with. And thank God for our extended families. Sometimes it becomes more important who's in your extended family that's in your physical family. Feeling overwhelmed by emotions. It's easy to feel overwhelmed today, especially if you turn the news on. It'll overwhelm you. Mentally, brain fog or difficulty concentrating. We losing our memory? Yes. I'm quickly losing my memory more and more of being a 3D human.
Yeah. Yep.
It's becoming the dream. My dream was to be whole, all those wonderful spiritual things we talked about, being whole and wonderful and be light beings and above all this, that, and another. That was the dream. But actually now the dream is becoming what was the reality to us.
Yes.
As we're waking up from the dream. The dream of separation. Heightened synchronicities or a lot of deja vu. Are you experiencing that? Seeing someone, meeting someone, it's like, do I know you? Do I know you? Mm-hmm. So more of your star mates are showing up. People that you have connected with a code with as the light moved down out of the source and crossed through each other and created a pattern. You're finding each other in this lifetime. Now, this is different karma. I'm not talking about finding people for karmic reasons. That's a different story. And that happens too. If you got unfinished business in 3D, they're going to show up in this one. They're going to come out of the woodwork. Mm-hmm. And they're coming and saying, let's finish this up so we can all get on with it. Because we're not coming back again, so we got to do it in this one. So I know we want everything to be peachy, beautiful, and clean and whatever, but who said it was going to be that easy to actually go through the wake up? Forgiveness, altered time perception. Some of you have that here. Sorry. Sorry. Questioning of reality and old beliefs. I do think more and more people are waking up and questioning the childhood beliefs that they have been taught. Not just in religion, but in everything else, whether it's government or any other system, education system or whatever. People are questioning the old ways in which they have been taught, because an innate intelligence is awakening up in us and making its way into our consciousness of thoughts that we've never had before, ways of looking at things we've never had before is beginning to show up and to happen. An increase in inner dialogue and self-reflection. Are you finding yourself talking to yourself more?
Yes. Oh my God.
You're in the car and you're doing your thing and you look over and somebody's looking like... Well, this is because when the self that you thought you were meets the self that you truly are, there is a dialogue that goes on. Let me give it to you out of Bible. Psalms 110, and my Lord said unto my Lord, sit down at my right hand. And I don't know about you, but my authentic self is saying to that self I thought I was, sit down. You've been in rule long enough. You've been on the throne of my being long enough. You will no longer be the God of my throne and my power, blinding my eyes. I am healed in this moment. That's why Jesus healed people's eyes in the book. Whether he did or not, the point is he was telling us that we are spiritually blind and we need to be healed. We need to learn how to see things differently than we see through our five senses. Let those that have an ear hear what the Spirit is saying. We need to learn not just to listen to somebody, but to hear what they're really saying. Come on. All of this is being awakened deeply within us. So as we close today, let us remember we are not victims of these changes. We are participants.
Yes.
And more than that, we are the midwives. I love this. The midwives of the birth of a new humanity.
All right now.
It doesn't get more powerful than that. And more than that, we are midwives of the birth of a new humanity.
Yes.
A humanity attuned to the frequency and to consciousness, to the divine pulse of Gaia itself. And Holtz has got the pulse. Sorry, couldn't help it. Just thought I'd throw it in. So. So together, I want us to say this. Be at peace. You are not broken. You are being reborn into this higher consciousness. Now let's say it and let's say I and bring it personal. I am at peace. I am not broken. I am being reborn into the higher consciousness.
Amen. And so it is.